And Mama D is finishing her dinner. Welcome to the box, everybody. Tonight we're going to have a really, really great show. Now, I hope you've been watching the video of this Canine Spirit Guides. All right, we've always thought that our pets were something more.
Mhm.
We have such a connection with our pets, and there could be a very good reason why. You could have the same pet pretty much over and over and over again, or a variation of in these canine spirit guides that come back through your pets. But Heather is going to explain a lot about these energies and a lot about what's going on with these spirit guides and all this kind of stuff. So we're going to play her bio video. We're going to get her right on here because I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Yes, Mama.
There's also somebody over my shoulder, so I'm not sure who. So we'll wait and see if anything comes in because I have just got the biggest major goosebumps, and yeah, so
Okay.
I'm looking forward to seeing what this works. Okay,
Okay.
shut up now. Go back to my corner.
Okay. Well, we will wait in anticipation. Okay, so I'm going to show her bio and then she'll be with us. Welcome to the Fox Den, everyone. Tonight we are going to be speaking with Heather Leigh Strom. And you thought your dog was just here to be your loving support and joyful playmate. But your pup is potentially much, much more than that, according to Heather Leigh Strom. Your pet could be the physical conduit for your canine spirit guide. In her groundbreaking book, Canine Spirit Guides, The Healing Power of Man's Best Friend, Heather Leigh reveals that these unique spiritual energies are here to guide us on our journeys of healing, growth, wisdom, transformation, spiritual evolution, and ascendancy. And the ones that choose to enter your life through your pet are divinely matched to you to teach you what your soul is calling to learn. But Heather Leigh would only discover this for herself and for humanity after having passed through many decades of deeply difficult life, beginning with a verbally abusive and emotionally absent father, then poverty, crippling accidents, loss, and more. Fueled by sheer determination and will, pain, and repressed rage, she nevertheless created 3 highly successful careers in dog training, physical therapy, and cycling. Today, Heather will share the story of how her canine companions and each came to her within specific gifts at a specific time to move towards healing and a joyful life, and how she has become the channel through which the canine spirit guides are bringing their messages and frequency of healing and transcendence to us all. You can learn more about Heather at www.heatherleighstrom.com and www.caninespiritguides.com. We welcome you, Heather, and everyone to the Fox Den.
Yay!
Yay! And here she is. Hi, Heather. Welcome to the Fox
Yeah.
Den.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I am so thrilled. I gotta say, it's it's a pretty big book, this one, right?
Yeah.
But I could have probably read it in a couple days, my normal reading, but it took me a few days. And because you really do have to digest what you're reading in this book. A lot of crying goes into this book. We've had a lot of sad, holy crap, girl. You've gone through a lot of stuff in your life,
Yeah.
and these dogs coincide with it. And later on in your life is when you found out about the spirit guides and how they were interacting with the earlier dogs in your life. Can we start with that? Like what first of all, what are canine spirit guides? And then how did you realize what they were later on in your life?
Well, they are the galactic version of our dogs. So they are not your dog's personal soul. They are separate from that. They are a collective of energetic beings that collaborate with our animals and our canines to connect deeply with humanity and help us heal.
Amen.
So, Yeah, it took me a while to understand that, believe
It's
it
a
or
lot.
not.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, someone will have to listen to that or read something like that over and over again to really, again, the word
To
is
let it sink in.
get it,
Yeah, to
get
let
it,
it sink in.
and understand it. But once you're reading it, there's going to be like all the aha moments and all the Me Too moments and the oh my God, I did the same thing moments.
Yeah.
To a lot of things, and it really starts making you think about your life, the things you've gone through, and then the animals that were associated with that time.
Yeah. And that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to awaken you and to help you draw those correlations between my story and your story and make you go, what if?
Yeah,
And really kind of put those dots together for yourself about your own life.
yeah,
And it's a really magical process when you do that.
yeah. Because when you were really young and I was really young, I had the very first Max. All right, Max. This is Max. Yeah, this is Max, my last black lab, the best of the best. Okay, but the
Yeah.
very first Max that we had when I was little, he was so smart, and that was a he, because there was Maximums, and Maxines. They were all Max, but Max the boy, I used to go out into the backyard. And I had him walking on barrels and on sawhorses and going through things. I didn't know anything about show dogs or anything like that. I just knew that this dog was smart.
Mhm.
I was teaching him. So you were teaching him, and then you took it further, and you went into the junior, you know, canine shows I didn't even know existed. You know.
Yes, yes. I quickly graduated into competition. It was a very natural transition. And
Ah,
then, and it began when I was young. When I was 11, I got my first dog, and 12, I got my first competition dog. I never knew that's what I would be doing. And then I stopped doing it for a while, and it resurfaced again after my surgery. It's like a lot of things in my life recycled after that event in my life. And lo and behold, here I was doing dogs again. So that I didn't see that coming at all. I didn't see that I'd have a second chance to do that again and to do it over and to do it better and go further with it. I didn't see that coming at all.
right, right. That is all right, guys. You just got to get this, okay? You're not going to want to put it down. I did not want to put it down. However, when I did stop, something was telling me when to stop. Because when I started again, is right where I needed to be. It was like just a little transition area, right where I needed to be, that I knew where to continue. And then the last part, the very last part, I was so close to finishing, and this is it. I had this much left of the book, and this section was, "Are you my father?" Okay, and I stopped there. I don't know. I didn't know why at the time. And I said, "Oh," and I told you, I said, "Oh, I'm almost done." I read it all like that afternoon. I said, "Oh, I'll finish it before I go to bed." I didn't. I read it the next day. And it was a good thing that I did. When I picked up at that point, wow, was that intense for me. Honest to God. Honest to God. I'm like blown away, really, about everything. This is a book you you were saying it's not read, it's study.
It's a study, yeah,
Mm.
and that's a tagline that the canine guides gave me for the book. That it's not a story; it's a study. It's meant to be studied. It's meant to be read over and over and over again, because each time you read it, you'll get a different message, and your frequency will change. So it's not just a novel. It's not a novel at all because it's an autobiography,
Mhm.
but it's different also because it's energy. The
Right.
canine guys are working with you through the book. So you don't want to try and read it as fast as you can. You want to try and sit with it and let the energy work with you. And when it does work with you, it's going to bring things up. It's going to bring emotions up. You might get mad at the story. You
I
might
got
get
mad a couple times.
sad.
Uh-oh.
It's like, why did she do that? I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
I got mad a couple of times, and then I was so sad. And then it was like,
yeah.
it would just go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. Going, all right, well, how is she feeling at this time? Why would she, you know what I mean? If you weren't feeling like this, and if this didn't happen, then you wouldn't do that. And the age you were at the time, yeah, okay, I can see why these things would happen. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm not giving it all away. People, you have to get the book and read it. Right? But
I'm getting the audiobook. Just saying.
Yeah, so it's a process, it's a journey, and take notes for yourself and notice what you're reacting to, because that's key as far as what needs to be looked at in your own journey.
right. Yeah, and you say that all, a lot of it is, in your own journey. And
Yeah.
that's funny because the show that I had just made the video for 2 weeks, so it's about journeys. So
Yeah.
there's always something that ties our shows together, and it's divine. It's just divine, and I love it. And we took a break from doing the show for a little while, and I have to get back into the show mode. And you can tell by the video. I'm sorry about the video. I had like little hiccups and whatnots, and just not my normal, reading self. All right, Nat says we always have dogs around, just like when you think when you lose one, you're down a dog, another one winds up coming in, and the dogs are good for grounding, and they take the bad energy away, and they go outside to reground, and they are refreshed. Ah, well, that was a lot right there. Yes, they do. Sorry. Yes, they do that for sure, because they're always their paws on the grass.
Yeah.
It's like that commercial that's out there that you see every so often. It's where this person is going through life and they keep sucking up everybody else's bad energy. And it's when they get home and they hug their dog, and the dog makes all that darkness go away, and they're back to being a light being. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what dogs do for us, or any kind of animal that make connection with. So yeah.
That's true. That's true. But this one here is more the canine aspect of it. Can I show the pictures of the core four? I did mark these things, and they're really neat. Even on the cover of the book right here, this is one of them. Okay, and this right here looks like my little biscuit. So it's like it looks like a biscuit and a
Jag.
Black Panther. And now this is Athena. Right now, Athena.
Anthea. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Athena, my girl here. Which way am I going? This way. So Anthea is a cheetah and a
Golden retriever.
Golden retriever. Yeah.
Yeah, and a golden. And so, what is she?
She is a very special being. She helps us connect with our divine self-love and joy. And we're not talking about the version of self-love and joy that you think you know. We're talking about a very highly elevated level of self-love and joy that I had never experienced before in my life. And that's what she helps us connect to.
Yeah, you really needed that.
Yeah. Well, humanity needs it too.
Yeah. But reading your story, I was like, wow, that came in at the perfect time. Okay,
Yeah.
and then Oscar.
Oscar.
Okay, Oscar is a lab and a lion. Right?
He's a black and tan coonhound.
Oh, well, it looks like a lab to me.
Yeah,
Right?
black and tan coonhound.
Okay, and a lion. And
Yes.
it's just like, what a perfect mix. Those eyes are like powerful yet calm,
Yeah, very, very calm. His energy is very quiet, and he's a lot like Aslan in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yeah, Narnia.
Yeah.
He helps connect us to our voice and our power and our confidence.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, and then Oregon. That's this one that was
Oregon. Yeah, she's magnificent. Of course, she's on the cover, so she's my favorite.
Yep. It's my favorite.
She's the Basenji and the the Black Panther, which is very magical, and she helps introduce us to our soul, our actual soul. So she gets us there by helping us identify and remove masks that we're hiding behind.
Mm.
She's
Very-
incredibly powerful, very elegant energy. She kind of reminds me of Lady Diana.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, very, very
Awesome.
elegant, very high frequency. People have to get through the first two layers first before they're ready to work with her. So they have to get through Anthea and Oscar first before they're adjusted enough to receive her energy.
yeah, they're powerful. It's that
Yeah.
subtle and powerful. But
Very, very powerful. Yeah.
and then the final of the core four here.
Yeah.
The pug.
Okay, so it's a pug and
Bald eagle.
yep, and it's
Yeah.
Herrick.
Yeah. Daman Yaralan Eric.
Yes, and how long did it take you to be able to say that?
Oh my gosh, that took forever. And I had to get someone to help me like write it because I only speak one language, English. So
Yep.
I could not figure out how to write this name to save my life. So I needed someone who is bilingual or at least 2 or 3 languages to kind of put it together for me because I knew how it sounded, but I couldn't figure out how to spell it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the only one with 3 names. And thankfully, he's given me permission to just refer to him as Eric.
Yes, good. Yeah.
But he's incredibly powerful. He's the creme de la creme. And he's the guide of the dog I have now. And
Gigi.
yeah.
She's got a
Gigi.
Gigi.
Yeah, Gigi. She and they're very special dogs because you kind of can figure out who they are when Eric is around because Eric does not like to be touched. He's unlike many dogs. Dogs usually love affection, right? But the Eric dogs do not like to be touched. They because of the bald eagle influence, they like to be admired from afar. They don't want to be touched. They're not meant to be touched.
That was kind of Lacey. Was kind of like that. She was so beautiful, and all I didn't want it to do. There's your Gigi.
Yeah, there's Gigi.
Oh my God.
Struggle
Yeah.
with Lacey, and she wanted nothing to do with it. And now this one is, oh my good God! I swear, he's a reincarnated Mauler. Because if I let him, he would just kiss me all day long.
Yeah.
You know, I've done it. I'm like, okay, you're gonna get it out of your system. I'm like, you know, and waiting in 20 minutes. You know, I'm like, all right.
There was a joke on a show that I was watching about animals, and the gentleman says that his dog has a liquor problem, and everybody kind of went, hmm? And then the dog just started to lick this woman nonstop. He says, "There goes the liquor. Can't control it." Like,
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
That's great.
Yeah, and I can't get him to stop. I can't. And he's got such separation anxiety. I really have not left him. He's had an episode. I went away and I came back and I was unpacking and I think he thought I was packing and he thought I was leaving again. And he fell asleep downstairs. I ran upstairs to take a shower. He ran the 16 steps up, panicking, thinking I left, got to the bathroom door and collapsed over. So I thought he died. I just went like, poof, and he was like a lead ball, bang, you know. I scooped him up. I revived him and everything. And then lo and behold, the next day he had another episode. I took him to the vet and we found out he's got an enlarged heart. So I call him, he's got the Grinch syndrome. So he's got an enlarged heart, but he can't take his heart meds, but he can take the breathing meds, which makes him psycho pup. When I give it to him, because it just enlarges the airwaves. So, you know, now it's like a new life for him. But I haven't really left him. I have babysitters come in if I do have to go somewhere, or I just take him with me.
That sounds like my dog Onyx.
Yeah, and he's right here. I mean, it's like I have to be in eye shot of him, not earshot, because he's deaf as you know.
As most men, I got it.
Yeah, he's like most men. You know, he'll hear certain things. You know,
food or bacon, and he's there.
Oh yes. Hey, Darian. Oh, you would love Darian. And Carmen. Darian's another one of a Foxden alum. She's made some incredible books. And
did you warn Heather that when she comes on this show that she's like part of the family and is not?
I never.
We
Yes.
stalk you. Okay, I'm the stalker of the two. So
Yes. Love you, Derry. Love you very much. Aw.
we're glad to be back as well, Karen.
Thank you, Carmen. It is. It's very nice to be back. Yeah, that was the longest break I've ever taken from a show, and Mama too, I think, because she was doing shows as long as me, and then we were off for a few months, and boy, all kinds of stuff
And
happened.
all heck broke loose when we weren't back on the air. So it's like we need to be on the air. Our lives stay calm and stable-ish.
Yeah. So I'm looking at. I do have a whole bunch of questions here, and this one here, when it says, in retrospect, what did you realize when you began communicating with the canine spirit guides about the dogs in your life? Like, how did you make that connection? All right, that's the one part, because I just like that question. But how did the actual guides that we just showed come to you and show themselves to you?
Yeah, how did the connection
Like
happen?
a two-part.
It was really insidious because it was also through my healing process. So I didn't realize what was happening at first. I was trying to write this book that I was guided to write about my dogs. And in doing this, I learned to meditate so that I could receive more clarity about the stories and understand who was in the book and why they were in the book. And when I started doing this, my meditation sessions ended up being healing sessions, very powerful, deep healing sessions. And the more I healed, the more I could hear them talking to me, the more I could just bring information through. So, but it took an amount of healing first before that could happen, because I would try and communicate with them and nothing would come in because I had this big block from trauma, beliefs that I was carrying around, karma I was carrying around. So that had to be eliminated first before I could actually receive my tools and my gifts. And so they began probably, I mean, it only took me 6 months to write the whole book. And I didn't even know. Yeah, I mean, it was super fast, even though at the time it felt like it was going really slow. But it was probably halfway through the process because I journaled everything. I started writing in March. I got the title in March. And so by April and May, I was having these visitations from the guides and I was having visions, or they would just channel through an entire part of the book. And so I was getting they would also channel through their names and what animals they associated with and why. And at the end, I sort of received their job titles. Like, they all have different roles that they play. They all have different healing aspects that they focus on. So at the end, I was starting to get those pieces. So it was just a really insidious process. And it wasn't even until after the book was published, probably 6 months after it was in print, that I realized the point of the book was not just to tell the story, but the point of the book was to share the healing with humanity. So by that, I mean, share the healing that I received and the process they took me through with my clients. So that was huge when I finally figured that out, because I didn't see that coming either. I was not an energetic healer before all this happened.
Of course. Well, I mean, really, when you read the book, I really feel like I've known you forever, because you do. It is your autobiography. So, we're going through all these phases in your life, and the ups and the downs. But there was a lot of downs, and but it was just, oh my God. I'm telling you, for you that are just coming on now, there's a lot of crying in this book. There's a lot of emotional stuff that you will relate to yourself. So while you're reading the words in these movies are playing in your head of your own past, that's when you got to, stop, let the thought that you're having process, and then go back to reading. Don't power through. So,
And journal about it too. That'll help.
oh, definitely.
That'll help you identify it. Yeah.
Journaling is like, my go-to, right? That is the best thing for anything. Anything that you're going through, anything you want to start, good things, bad things, anything at all, the thoughts, book titles. I want to do this. Journal it, because then it comes to, that's the next step to reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jojo says, I still have dreams about my animals that have crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Oh, look at that picture I just saw, Jojo, on Facebook. I was looking, and I was like, how appropriate is this? And I don't even know what it was for on Facebook, but while I'm in here, I'll do this. This is her banner.
Oh, my face is.
I love this. Isn't this amazing? Oh, there's all her doggies back there. And oh my goodness. So cool. So cool. And actually, this is also a good time to do all these things. All right. So we have all her sites here. So we have k9spiritguides.com. And for when we're doing this audio only, that is a K and a 9, not the word K9, spiritguides.com, and heatherleighstrom.com, and that is LEIGHSTROM. Okay. You can find her on YouTube at Heather_Leigh_Storm.
Strom.
Strom, not Storm. All right. Yeah, I'm like, all right. She's on all the social medias. CoachingHeatherLeighStrom.com/healing-immersion. Okay. And then we have her events at HeatherLeighStrom.com/events. We have a meditation mini course. So it's HeatherLeighStrom.com/meditation-mini-course. This is what she's working on right now, I would imagine. Your workshop?
Yeah. We have a big workshop coming up next, or in March. Yeah.
In March.
It's a half-day workshop.
Awesome. HeatherLeighStrom.com/group-workshops. And then finally, we have that meditation mini course. Oh, did I already put that up there?
Yeah.
All right. So I already put that up there. But she does a lot. She does a lot for you, with you. So please check her out. Check her out on all the social medias. Check out the sites and everything. And the book is also in audio.
Yes.
It herself on Amazon. So go there and get that, which is amazing. So then you'll get a better perspective, of listening to her read it, because she's the author. It was her life. So she knows better, where the inflection should be, where the highs are, where the lows are, with, the power moments and the sad moments and the everything. So I want to go and just listen to a little tidbit of it.
I looked quickly at the PDF that I had. It's not the full PDF, so which means I'm going to have to go retail therapy. Sorry.
It's not you should have a full copy. It's not?
So. Nope.
Yeah, you should have a full.
Yeah.
No,
it was in the media packet.
All right. I'll just double check, but I didn't. What I quickly looked at it just a minute ago, because there's something about your main, as I call it, your main character, your cover, that when Gina was talking about the 4 different munchkins, I have a Jag as or Black Panther, whatever you want to call them. I call her a Jag. That's when I got that shiver again. So not sure if it's mine or yours, but there's a connection there.
Oh, yeah.
They'll reach out to you like that when they've got they want to work with you. Yeah.
This is a good thing too. Like she needs audiobooks now because she's going blind. Oh boy. And that's my biggest fear on the planet. And or if you're going on a long trip, a long drive, instead of listening to radio, listen to an audiobook.
Well, and the trick, I don't know if you guys have discovered this. This is something that Canine Guides have me do a lot, is you can sleep with it. You can sleep with the audiobook and listen to it while you sleep. If it's a clean source, right? Some sources you don't want to do that with, but it will help resonate your higher frequencies while you're asleep, and you can actually get some work done with it. So a lot of times when I'm working with my clients with the canine guides, they'll tell the clients what chapters to listen to while they sleep at night. That pertain to the healing that they require. So what I like to do is listen to it while I'm sleeping. And, sometimes, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll listen to parts I've already heard. So I don't try and stay awake to listen to it.
I know that. I know that.
Yeah. And I did have one gal, actually my astrologer that I mentioned in the book.
Yeah.
She listened to the entire book in 12 hours straight. She was listening overnight. And she never stopped listening to it.
Yeah.
She couldn't stop.
Now, that you mentioned it. Now you had your whole chart done. Now was this how did you meet this woman and why did you have the whole? A lot of people just get partial charts because sometimes it can be pricey to get these charts.
It was very pricey, but it was absolutely worth it. She was referred to me by my mentor that I referred to in the book, the guy that kind of walked me through, held my hand throughout this entire process. So he recommended her to me because when I realized I was heading for a big change, I wanted to do it quickly. And I wanted all of the information that I could gather to help me move quickly through it. I didn't want to take my time.
Who does she sound like?
So she didn't just read my chart. It was like she was reading my soul. She was putting pieces together that I didn't think were possible. Like she acted like she knew everything about me. Wow. That like she was reading me as I sat on my star. It was just the most incredible experience ever. It was a 4-hour reading. It was incredible.
Yes. Oh my gosh. They were great numerologists in chart, the ones that do the charts and stuff. And then there are some, like, every single facet of our realms here, whether it's psychics or whatever's, there are good ones, there are bad ones. There are ones for you, there are ones not for you.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that they're even bad. They're just not for you, you know? And you got to trust your gut as soon as you meet this person. And then you trust this person. Like, you can look in their eye and you say, all right, I know you. I got you. I know you can do this. And then you can go forward with it. That anytime the little hairs stand up on the back of your neck, you say, no.
Well, we met first on Zoom so that we could meet each other. And when she saw me in the camera, she got really close to the camera and she was staring at me like this. And I'm like, what's wrong? She says, you have the fastest nervous system I've ever met.
You are go.
She says, you are, well, no, it's not that. It's because I'm not hyperactive at all. My nervous system processes so quickly that I'm constantly absorbing and almost like cataloging information all around me. And that's because
I say it's like a filing cabinet in the brain, and all the cabinet doors are still open and things are constantly going. And some people can just close those drawers. I never can.
Yeah, no, I'm constantly cataloging everything. I see and hear and feel everything.
Yeah, I get it. There's Onyx. Onyx needs a haircut.
Oh, yep, Onyx needs a haircut.
Hello, Onyx.
Look at you, all long haired.
Looks tired.
No, he's just mad at me because I wouldn't go outside and hunt his girlfriend.
Oh, but yeah, that's right.
It also has been a while since he wanted to sit up on my lap, so I figured, okay, fine.
Well, he's still sleeping. This is a good thing, and maybe we can get a little interaction with Gigi.
Come here, G. Come here. She's asleep. Come here, G. Wake up.
Come on. Everyone's we're too asleep.
She's like, what? You want me to get up? Come here, G. Come on. Of course, she has to get through all of the lighting and the cameras and all that.
Yep. That we don't mind. If things get a little knocked over or go sideways, we don't care.
And she's not very little.
Comes.
Oh my God.
Hello, baby. Oh, you are so adorable.
Absolutely stunning.
Oh my goodness.
My sister just got somebody. She just adopted,
Sleep.
but hers is like the size of Onyx's head compared to yours. I'm looking forward to see her getting it. Sorry, him. His name is S'mores.
S'mores.
Look, because he gives a lot. He loves to be s'mores around yours. I can't remember what it is. But he was just like, no, size, you just tell the teeny, not that teeny, but oh my God. Yeah, okay, we're going to have fun. We're gonna have a new neighbor. No, I know. Onyx is the same way. He likes to be seen, but does not want to see that he's being seen. If that makes any sense.
She likes to be adored.
Yeah.
It's like a full-size dog just with mini legs.
Yeah. She's quite the chunk.
Love
Just
you,
has
girl.
little legs.
Chunky monkeys. But
Oh,
that's the fun type.
oh, I know.
She
So
can't quite
wiggle
keep
butt.
up.
Wiggle
She
butt.
gets really, wiggle butt. She gets really tired on hikes. She can't go as far as she wants to
She's
go.
got little legs. And
Yeah.
You go. But now, can we talk about the show things? I learned some things because I never knew about the shows. Like I've watched on TV a couple times, and I was always rooting for the Papillon to win something, and it never does. But I didn't understand the difference between when you were saying about the French Opens,
French ring.
yeah, and the AKC. Right? The difference is enormous. I mean, it's like the AKC is like, I'll let you. It's like that.
Yeah.
Whole thing because it's like, okay, you're gonna jump this high, and then the other one you're jumping this high, and then you're gonna walk back and forth 12 times over here, but you're gonna do it 20 times over there. So AKC is very easy.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
It's interesting because the purposes of the two sports are very different. French ring was designed as a test, a breeding test, and a working test for specifically the Belgian Malinois, which is a working dog.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas AKC didn't have that origin. It was just designed for all breeds to get together and compete together in obedience. So French ring is not just obedience. It's obedience. It's agility. It's scent work and also protection work. So it's all of those things wrapped into a single episode. So at the highest level, you're on the field for a whole hour. The dog is working for an hour straight.
Yeah, it's intense.
I have a friend who has a Belgian Malinois, and he's like, I think they're adorable. I think they're beautiful, but it's like the work that he does with his dog. It's like, wow.
They are machines. I mean, they are literally from another planet because I've had a number of different breeds, and there is nothing that's like a Malinois. And that's what I used to breed was Belgian Malinois. So they are quite unique, and their nervous system is unique. Very much so, more than any other dog I've worked with. Yeah, there's Tori, my beloved Tori.
This dog. Oh my God.
Just a quick connection, and I'm not sure if I'm going to connect the dots correctly. You just said that their nervous system is unique, but then your astrologer said that yours.
Yeah, I know. I caught that too. Just now.
Yeah. And you read them.
So and so I'm wondering, I wonder if we're from the same planet. I need to chat. I need to tap into that because none of these guides were a Malinois.
Yeah.
So I didn't study that. I didn't ask that question. So I
need to go you're just touching the bases here with the core four.
Yeah, these are the first four. There's over 50 in total. So I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm still I'm just
a journal right there. Mark that down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You heard it here on the Fox Den first before it
gets
There's going to be a couple more books coming out, people.
Well, there will.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more books and a lot more workshops and they're keeping me busy. There's going to be oracle cards for them too.
Sorry.
Now you're speaking out language.
Now you just perked me for sure. I'm saying it now. I would like a copy of that deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, advanced copies right here. Oracle cards.
Okay. You'll be my test subjects. You can tell me
Yes,
Not
how
a
they work.
problem.
100%.
I would be a guinea
Oracle,
pig for anything Oracle.
readings
I'm gonna
next
write
week.
that down. Oracle cards.
Yes, we're doing that
Because
next week.
we're doing Oracle readings next week with our own decks. And the week after that, we have a guest who created an Oracle deck and she sent them to us.
The journeys.
So, and connection is like intense there. We go with more connecting the dots there. Your deck coming up, her deck. It's, yeah, okay.
Telling you, these shows are always the
Yep.
synchronicity is amazing.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I love it.
I do too. That's why we do it. I don't know why we take such a long break. It's like, it felt nice. I had a break. I didn't have to make a video. I didn't have to read a book.
She just, okay, come on, admit it. You were just tired of seeing my face every week. I got on your nerve. I was building enough castles. You
I know. I build her castles with her swear jar. but it is I mean it's because you do them. You work on StreamYard, right? You have stuff on YouTube. So there's a lot that goes into it.
It's a lot of work. A lot of work. I mean, yeah, it'll take me a whole day to publish a single webinar, or not a webinar, but a
mini course like thing.
Yeah. Well, no, one of these
a podcast.
Podcast. Thank you.
All day. Oh,
it'll take me all day because not only do I have to do the podcast, but I have to do the shorts. I have to optimize it. I have to do all the descriptions.
We have to get together, you and I want to learn how to do that so that we can do that for these.
More time.
Yes, ma'am. Just fit me in. Once I figure out my job and I get sort of good at it, then we'll fit it in.
I'm hoping that someday I can outsource that when I, get busy providing for my clients and being in service instead of having to do this stuff. So
yeah, I know. I enjoy doing this kind of stuff though. I do. I missed it. Like making the videos and whatnot.
And you're great at it. You do a fantastic job.
I apologize because my reading was like, I'm like, oh my God, am I rusty at doing this? And I'm just like,
if you haven't figured out, Gina is her own worst critic. I think we all are our own. She is really hard on herself. Just a smut. This girl had some nice long hair, and then she's like, okay, this side is crooked, and this side is, and she takes scissors, and she ended up cutting her hair so short one time. She was mad at herself. I went, put the scissors down. She makes a video. The small video that she created for you will take minimum of a day because it doesn't sync, and she'll go back and do it. And if she made a mistake, she'll go, oh. So it's like, girl.
I know. I did. I had mistakes in hers. I had the K9 spirit guides written. Spirit was something. I didn't have the G in spirit guides.
Yeah, forgot the G, but that's okay.
So, and it's like, and of course I had it on like several slides. Shelly, you're the best. I love you. I miss you. Hey, Shelly, I'm going up to Massachusetts on Saturday. I'll be there for like a week or so. Maybe we can get together. Anyway, I'm supposed to see Mary Jane maybe on Saturday as well too in Sturbridge. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Aw. So getting back to this, it's just there's so much that goes on in here. I don't know what you want to get into on like some of the things like the traumatic and the trauma that you suffered, from an early age on,
there's a lot. Well, why don't we focus on the point of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Instead of, because I don't ever like to focus on the ugliness. I like to focus on the message.
Yes, because that's what's most important. As much as the ugly is not good, I
can stand behind that.
Something.
Yeah. So, in the beginning of the book, you start to realize that my father's not a pleasant person to live with. And it's uncomfortable, and it can be uncomfortable for some people to read, especially if you have a similar experience. It's going to be uncomfortable for you to read about my experience. And that just means for you that there's some healing that needs to be done. And one thing I want to point out is if you have no healing whatsoever to do, and there's nothing, no homework that you have that your soul wants you to work on while you're here, you can read my book cover to cover and feel absolutely nothing.
Absolutely
No one fits that bill.
Yeah. But
No.
anything that activates you, so anything that makes you angry, makes you sad, makes you agitated, like you're like, I can't believe that happened. I can't even read that. It's so terrible. That's an agitation. So the guides, when you're reading this book, are working with you. And when you start to stir up these emotions, these are the guides trying to get your attention. They're drawing your focus to energies that is hiding within you that needs to be released and healed. And this is what the guides do for me. They did that for me, and they do it for my clients. So pay attention to that. Journal about it. Instead of getting mad at me or getting mad at my dad, journal about what's behind the emotion. Because that's what I had to constantly ask myself the whole time I was writing the book. Yeah. What's behind the emotion?
Yeah. And you do really, and I did say this earlier, you do make it easy to do that while you're reading the book, right? Because you're a very relatable person. Are you really putting everything out there? You're not holding anything back, you know? And we're in that journey with you, and we can all, everybody has something, you know, there are, like I said, there are the aha moments and the Me Too moments in this book throughout. Okay.
Right.
And it's going to be for everybody, and I don't care. There's not, I can't even imagine someone saying I didn't relate to anything in that book, because you had to live in a bubble, okay? Yeah. Because there's just no way. Right. But it does do what you want it to do. It does make you, you know, think of the things that have happened. And then too, like, you know, when you just said you didn't think of something right there, you know, like there are things that I had really blocked out.
Yeah.
You know, that were gone, that were like never ever popped up, and I was like, oh, that's
right.
That.
It brought it to the surface. Yeah.
And that was a poof moment.
And that's a huge moment. So that's a really huge opportunity. And what these guides do, they bring an advanced healing frequency to us that offers us a very expedited form of healing. So you know, what they have me all constantly share when I'm sharing them is that healing is not meant to be hard, and it's not meant to take a long time. And we don't need to study what's caused the pain or the trauma. We don't need to understand it. All we need to do is be willing to heal it. And we can be healed in an instant. And many occasions, that's what they did specifically with me. And I want to share a story because you asked about how this all came about. So this story will kind of feed into that.
Okay.
So my mentor had told me I need to sit with the dogs. And he was kind of the canine spirit guides. He was kind of teaching me how to do that in a meditation. Now, not once did he walk me through it step by step. He just gave me things to do for homework, and it was up to me to figure out how to do it. So I sat obediently in meditation, and I said, okay, I'm going to invite the guides in and see if I can hear them. Well, right away, one of the dogs showed up in front of me. Zozo, remember Zozo in the book? Yeah, big 100-pound Malinois, beautiful, kind soul. He showed up in front of me. I could see him in my mind's eye, and he was trying to speak to me. His mouth was moving, and I couldn't hear him. And so I did what I was instructed to do. If I can't hear, ask them to turn it up. So I said, please, can you make it louder? I can't hear you. Well, nothing happened. He still was just mouthing, and I couldn't hear anything. And being a baby at this type of technique and experience, I got very frustrated. There's Zozo. I got very frustrated very easily, and I quit. You know, it was kind of like a 3-year-old. Well, I quit. I can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So
I those. Yeah.
So I go to my phone and I text my mentor, and I told him what was happening, and I was so agitated, and I was angry at him because he told me to do this and it wasn't working, right? So that childish ego that's blaming somebody else. Yeah. So,
Like a charm.
yeah. And I was hoping that he would be compassionate to me and, try and help me. But what he said instead was, what's the emotion that's coming up with this? What's
Great.
the emotion? That's what you need to look at. And I'm like, well, that doesn't help. I still continued to be this pissy little child. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this wave of energy just washed over me, an energetic wave of energy. I was standing in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, I could see myself as a child standing in front of my father, and my German Shepherd was sitting next to me. And the emotion was the deep-seated rage and frustration because I couldn't speak my feelings. I couldn't articulate how he made me feel and how he did not, and how he suffocated me and oppressed me so that I couldn't be myself. So that emotion just started coming through, and I was like, oh, there it is. There's the emotion. So then I went back to meditation and I said, okay, I've got the emotion. Now what? What do I do now? So then I go into meditation, and I cannot tell you how deeply everything started to move then. Like, my body started to react physiologically to the energy because it was like I was just being vacuumed out, and my body got very rigid, and I had tears streaming down my eyes even though I wasn't crying. I was shaking all over. I was breathing heavily. I was sweating. And all of a sudden, my body got rigid. My mouth popped up like this, and my mouth opened like the alien mouth, like as far, as wide as it could. I thought it was going to come unhinged. And all of a sudden, this sound comes pouring out of me. I didn't even recognize my own voice. It was such a barbaric sound. And Gigi was right behind me on her bed. And I thought, she's got to be terrified because I don't even recognize my own voice. And it just came bellowing out of me. And I felt like this spotlight just came up through my body and went out into the cosmos. And it felt like a spotlight that said, here I am. I've arrived, is what it felt like. So this whole experience was just churning up all of this massively buried, stuck energy that could not get out before. And it was just releasing it. So after, I was still in that space, and all of a sudden I feel this desire to write. And I just start scribbling at first because I'm like, what am I supposed to write? I don't know. And all of a sudden, as I'm still in meditation state, all of a sudden words start coming out. And before I knew it, I had a whole section of the book written.
Right.
I was like, wow, there it is. So what they were trying to show me there was, number one, what that guy does, because that was Oscar. And so they were showing me how he's connected to the voice and how he heals those issues around the voice being suffocated and separated from you and your inability to express yourself. But also they were showing me that the dog I saw initially was not the same dog that I saw later. So they were showing me that those two dogs were the same. They had reincarnated. One was when I was 11 and the other one was when I was 35. So I had the same need for that type of assistance at those points in my life.
Right.
And then the message that came out also involved a lion. There was a lion in that beautiful story that I wrote on those pages. So that's when they were trying to show me how these canine guides worked with the wild animal energy to help us move energy. So the lion energy is incredibly powerful. The voice of the lion will carry a mile. It's so loud and powerful. Right. And they carry confidence like no other animal does. And that's all part of what Oscar does. That's part of how he helps us heal, is in providing the energy for those parts of us. So it was absolutely beautiful. And that kind of broke the ice. After that, I didn't have to work
insane. Hard. That is an insane story, because a lot of people have to work years and years and years and years to have a breakthrough like that. So your life, your traumas, your story led you right to that point, right?
Yep.
The lapse of the people you needed to meet, the ones that you needed to guide you to get you to that point. Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
absolutely.
All your ducks were right in a row, right the way they were
Yeah.
supposed to be.
And it's key too to realize that they were in a row because I listened to the guidance that told me to look for them and then to listen to them. Like,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
didn't question what they were telling me. And I did a podcast on this once because a lot of people say, well, how can you grow so quickly? And my response to that is because sometimes when you're looking at someone like me from the outside, you're like, she's changing really fast. Something's wrong. She's not, she's out there. Right. But I'm very grounded, but I changed
Yep.
so fast that I was not the same person 6 months later than I was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So my response to that is the way I see it, especially now, is that everyone in my life, I've already chosen to be here. I've already vetted them before I got here. So
Yeah.
I must listen to them or else I'm doubting myself.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't question when I get feedback or when I get, when I'm told to do something, I go, okay, I'll do it. So I don't hesitate. And that's
Yes.
the only reason I was able to go as fast as I was able to.
Me and Mama D, we always say that too.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your gut. Your
Yeah.
gut instincts, and these instincts that we have, and everyone says, "Oh, the instincts or the coincidences that we have, the things that blah blah." They're not. They are
No.
direct communication with your spirit guides,
Yes.
whatever they may be. If they're angelic, if they're people, if they're your family, if they're your ancestors, if they're your animal spirit guides. Everyone has a moment to shine, and they're gonna come in as you need them. So they're
Yes.
gonna be different. And Colette says she's got a lot of anger right now with medical insurance company. Yeah, well, that's going to happen. And trauma makes you adaptable. That is true. That is true. Because some people will, trauma and the dark cloud that follows you, and they'll wallow in it, woe is me, and the wah. But you gotta give yourself maybe 5 minutes to do that, but then that's it. All right. You got to move on, and you got to go to the next thing, and you got to try to heal yourself. You got to try to do something that's going to make it better.
Well, and what they've shown me about trauma is that, especially the stories about the dogs dying, this is something they have me talk about a lot. Trauma, and especially death of dogs, because we're so close to them, opens you up so deeply and makes you so vulnerable that an exponential amount of growth is available at that moment.
Yeah.
So if you see it for what it is and you utilize the opportunity to catapult yourself forward, then you will go forward. If you sit in that trauma and you focus on the trauma, then you just get buried deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's important to realize what an opportunity trauma is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't know where to go anymore. You go right here. Okay. Go into this meditation mini course that she has. I've always said that to you, Colette. You need to do a lot more meditating, and you will get some answers, whether you like them or not, but you'll get the answer.
Yeah, that's the question. Mm-hmm.
And she's got some workshops coming up here too. And she, probably be the one that can help you out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those workshops are really fun because we bring in, that workshop will be the first two guides, Anthea and Oscar. And so they bring in channeled messages of wisdom for the group. And then we actually do a healing session with the group for each guide individually. So there's like 4 different sessions going on in that 5-hour workshop. So it's going to be really intense. A lot of opportunity for healing and growth for sure.
Yeah, because Colette's going through the emotional part. Her husband goes through the physical part, So and she has to deal with everything, and sometimes it's very overwhelming. That is life. That is what a lot of people are in Colette's shoes, unfortunately, but that is life, People get sick, things happen, we have to deal with the things, and it just can get so overwhelming, and you don't know where to turn. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. But if you do meditate and you just say, all right, who is it that needs to be in my life right now that's going to help me? Show me the right direction. Just lead me down the right path, because I don't feel like I'm going down the right path. But sometimes you are going down the right path.
It just may not be the path that you think you need or you like or whatever. But it's like, how you say you learn from the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
When I get angry and frustrated, which is not too often, but when that does happen, I give myself 15 minutes to deal with that trauma, that anger, that frustration, that tears, whatever the case may be. I give myself 15 minutes. And then after that, I know that it's not helping me to stay in there. So it's time to step out and just keep moving forward. It's not easy, not by a long shot. It's not easy.
No.
But it's something that I needed to do.
Yeah.
What I like to do is ask what the message is. What am I supposed to learn from this? Because usually when you get the message, the trauma's over. The experience is over, because the whole point of the experience is for you to get the message. When you don't hear the subtle messages, then they get louder and they get more intense.
Exactly. When you don't pay attention, yes. This is like when I say, when a spirit's coming in the room and you're not paying attention, they're going to get louder. They're going to start knocking things over, and they're going to start banging pans together. Like, hey, pay attention to me. A spirit guide will do that, and they will throw you little subtle hints, and then they'll get more intense. And then it's like,
So I always like to ask in the baby stages, what do I need to know about this? I want to take care of it now. I don't want it to get into a sickness, an illness, an accident, a financial crisis. I want to know what I need to do now to keep me moving on my path and not get derailed.
Right. Oh my gosh. When I first started doing this stuff, I wanted everything like this too. I'm just like, all right, let's go. All right, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm going to do this. It's like, okay, I want to do prana. I want to do this. I want to go, oh, maybe I should do Reiki. No, I'm going to stay with prana. Oh, I'm going to do that. I want to learn all about the meditations. I'm going to do meditations. I'm going to record a meditation, and it's just like, blah, 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 and then it's like, then you get the thing that humbles you to make you slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My baby sister once told me, and I have to agree with it, even though it hurt at the time, that I have this disease. It's called the instant gratification disease. If I don't get it now, I'm a redhead. Can you imagine what I do? I throw a temper tantrum and things just everywhere. But and I do still go through that. There are times like, that I know that I think I want something. And that's the point, is I want something. Doesn't mean I need it. Just means that I want it. So when I don't get what I want, I do throw a temper tantrum. But I learn from each stressful situation. I would say every temper tantrum has a lesson for me. Just have to admit that.
That's true. Yeah. That is very true. And that's what we try to teach our children, right? When they throw their fits. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think my children ever threw fits. They don't have enough redheads in them. They got slight highlights. I
had my angel and my devil, one and the other. So let me ask you this: do you consider yourself a spiritual person?
Well, yeah. Now, yeah. Before I fought it, I didn't want to be spiritual, because everybody I knew that was spiritual was an airhead. I didn't want to be an airhead. I wanted to be grounded and respect time and space,
Yeah. No. Totally get that.
Now that I realize I don't have to be that way, I'm like, okay, I'll be spiritual if I can be like me.
It's funny how we kind of sort of see, for me, I see a lot of people, like you say, airheads. There are people that are way up there on their spirit, on their journeys. It's not just spiritual, and they making lots of money because they're doing this, that, and the other thing. And I'll follow somebody somewhere, and in their face, I'll add my email. As like constant emails. So all this stuff that I'm getting to learn from them or about them is not what I learned when I got the little tidbits of information. So that's when I realized, okay, so maybe that's not the person I want to be getting to know. It's like I had somebody reach out to me and wanted to do a reading on me. I was like, okay. And it never seemed to click the time wise for things to happen. And I said, look, if you can do this without me being here physically, because I have work, I have jobs, I have families to take care of. I don't have. Well, then they said, well, give me your full name and your your full name and your date of birth. And I was like, I don't give that to anybody, least of all somebody who I've just met on the internet. And you're being very a little bit too much for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to pass on that. It's going to have to be hard. No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Redheaded women are really special.
Really?
Especially if they're scorpions too. That's even more fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it's like you kind of have to, and it was meeting this person on Facebook. And at first I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go for it. But then part of me was like, no, you don't. But then I was just like, no, it's okay. Just don't listen to yourself. Just push that shit back down and just pay it. They weren't asking for money or anything. I get, because that's the first thing somebody goes, I will read you for
$100.
Yeah,
Right?
but,
when we do every time we do our reading shows, there'll be someone for an accurate reading. Go here for $100.
It's like, yeah, no, but they never asked for money. But it was too pushy.
Yeah.
And then when I said, if you can do it without me, then have at it. And then she was like, okay, well, this is what I need. And I was like, that's going to be hard. No, please explain. And I was like, no, I don't want it anymore. I don't give, even Gina doesn't know, yeah, she does. Okay, there's not too many people who know my full name and date of birth and address and all that fun. It's like, dude. And if they do, it's because you've known me for a while and I've known you for a while. And, I don't just willy-nilly. So I unfortunately had to block that person. They may be a great person, and I don't block people easily. But when you get a little bit too pushy with me and I'm not in the right frame of mind to deal with you, then it's like, yeah, salut la visite there, I'm gone.
Yeah. You gotta be willing. We usually, when you're willing is when you're asking. All right. If you're asking, if someone offers, that's one thing. And it's like, maybe I can be receptive, but don't count on it. All right. When you're ready, you will ask. When you're ready, you will seek, you will find.
Yep.
And, then you will hear the message.
Yep. And you don't mind paying, whether it's monetarily or emotionally or physically, the price, if you're ready for it.
Right.
If you're ready for the messages to come, you don't mind paying for whatever the case, the payment is. You don't mind. But when you're not ready for it, it's like,
don't push. Yeah, don't push.
And you always want to be careful with who you allow in your energy field. So I always get permission, even when my clients sign up for a session, I always get their permission to enter their energetic field, because it's not something I take for granted. It's sacred space and it should be honored. So I don't ever, I don't walk through the grocery store reading people. I have my shields up. I don't want to know your business. I stay in my own sovereign space. And I don't go around reading people. I don't know how these psychics do it, where they have people calling in and they're reading everybody for an hour straight. I don't know how they do it, because for me, it's a sacred space. It's a very sacred interchange, and it's something I want to do.
They have years of practice doing that kind of stuff. You can't do that right from the get-go. You know what I mean? No. That is years and years.
I don't know that I would want to, though. That diminishes the sacredness of it. And to me, those are people that want a quick answer. And what we need now is for people to really understand themselves and not just have a quick answer, but understand why but
that's more in-depth thing. But when you like our reading show next week, we're just pulling oracle cards for people, so I might pull one or two, and Mama might pull, one or two, and Mary Jane might pull one, you know what I mean? And usually the cards will all coincide with the one question that's in the chat room, because sometimes people want to know just, am I just going to get this job or not? You know what I mean? Or is this person does this person gonna do whatever? You know what I mean? Whatever the questions are, but the cards usually are accurate. You know,
Yeah.
but I want to hear
And they
from
usually work together.
and and they'll
We're in
all
3 different places and we have no connection physically whatsoever. But the drawing of the cards, for me, I do a meditation before a show when it comes to that, so that I know that I'm connecting to my guides and everybody else is out there, and I'd be like, okay, if this is meant to happen, they're going to understand it.
Yep.
Sometimes people don't get what the
I'll,
card says, but it's
I'll do the
fine.
card. I'll do the card for myself at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
You know, am I clear? Am I doing that? You know, am I good to go? You know, basically, and I'll do like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 for myself, and it's always yep. You know, so
I'm looking forward to the day that the cards tell you, Gina, it's a hard no. I was like, okay. Gina will be like, I'm not doing it tonight. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Like,
but I was packing cards today to take to Massachusetts with me. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I never know what I want, you know. So I'm looking at the decks that I left behind, and I'm going, well, maybe I should just take them all. And now I've got.
Gina, when I first met her, had
I had
2,
like
maybe 3
4
decks.
decks. Yeah, mostly tarot, and I think 2.
Yeah.
You know,
How many do you have now?
I can't even count.
You can't count that high.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot. I
She
have
just stopped counting.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I have gotten, I think I have,
Over there that I left behind, and a bag full that I'm taking that was so heavy that I was worried it was going to rip the bag handles
yes,
off
yeah.
that I'm taking.
I have, we'll say between 35 and 40 decks. And it's a
Wow.
mixture of Oracle and Tarot, but I still read my Tarot like Oracle. I could never, I had somebody say, you can't do readings on our thing because until you do it my way. I do it my own way. I can't,
No, see,
I don't
readings
do it
are-
somebody else's way, and it's the way I
Intuitive.
understand it. Yeah. And sometimes when I'm doing a reading for somebody, if I have somebody who comes to the house and does do a reading, I will sit here like before they get here and go, okay, so who's coming out to play? I'll talk to my decks and go, who's coming out to play? And I'll usually get about 3 decks that will come out to play, and a reading is done that way. But other than that, my oracles and my tarot decks, I get what I get from them, and it may not be what Gina gets or somebody else gets, but everybody does it differently. Every chef will have the same ingredients to make the same cake, and each cake will taste slightly different. So that's what, that's where my way of thinking is. So yeah, looking forward to your deck. Not like all that. Like,
I know you gotta go.
yeah, I ordered through Gina because it was, I don't remember the name of the because I'm up in Canada, and it was something that I wanted, that it was games or something.
Some games. I don't remember, but
they create decks, and it's like, I was like, something about this deck. Yeah, has been a while since I've actually bought a new deck, so I was like, I want it. And then I went to look for it, and it went, we only ship to the US. I said, damn it. So I said to Gina, I said, can you get this for me?
And then
she said it was like a pre-order to March. I was like, okay, I'm good with that. I'll send you the money. Just let me know. And she goes, when I get them, I'll let you know.
And I'll ship it to her.
Because when it comes to decks, I know what I want, and I'll have the patience for it. The deck that I'm working with for the next 27 days or so was a deck that I wanted. It was a healing deck, self-healing deck of butterflies. If you can't think of this or not, I work with butterflies that way. And it was a deck that I wanted to purchase. And I had a friend of mine, I've never ordered online before. So a friend of mine said, just order it. And I was like, okay, how much is it going to cost me in shipping? She goes, well, give me your address. I've known her for a long time, so I had no worries. I said, okay, this is what the address would be. Tell me how much to get it. And she goes, she comes back about 45 minutes later. She goes, okay. I was like, okay, what? She goes, it's on its way. I was like, what do you mean? I was ordering it for myself for my birthday. It's just, and my birthday's in November, and this was in, I think it was June or July. In my head, for me, I was ordering them for my birthday gift for myself. Well, she ordered them for me, but hello, Canadian border people were having a field day with my gifts, because by the time they got to me, it was my birthday. It was stuck at the border for that long that
Oh.
I got them the week of my birthday. It's like, dudes, could you like?
Divine.
Wow.
So
Right.
it's like it was meant to me. It just was meant to be have at the right time. So
Yeah.
you know what? I've learned how to have a little bit of patience only with decks.
Yeah, because it started with my ex co-host. Well, I was actually his co-host. It was his show, and then I was his co-host, and I took over. Chris George, who is a psychic, but he does a thing he calls psychic poker, and he uses multiple decks that puts out, and he's really fast with all of them. And he'll be like, "You ask a question," and be like, "Yes, no, blah blah blah," all this stuff. And he's like, he sees the whole movie spread out in front of him. So I used to watch that and be like, "Wow." So that was like my first encounter that way with the oracle cards. Then when I
Haven't you hooked up with me?
and then it's a total addiction, because the more you work and the more that you infuse your energy into these cards, and the more you work with them, the more they show you everything. It's just intense. So yeah, we'll have times we'll do readings for people, but the quick readings, the people that watch love it. They love it. They love to interact like that. They want that just a quick answer. If you want to carry it on, yeah, sure. Do a one-on-one and do a reading later. Hey, Julie, how are you?
Sorry, my eyes are so confused right now. I said I saw moron. I was going to say, wait a minute, who's calling my guests? The people that are.
Oh, Julie, she is such a lovely woman. Oh my gosh, I miss her. So yes, we had our shiny ball.
Bring it back. Did we tell you in the beginning that this gets squirrel moments?
Yeah. So
we don't follow a set path.
Thank you so much.
Get everywhere.
But we're reeling it back in. Again, talking about channeling. Now you're channeling. Obviously, you totally channeled this book. To write a book this big in 6 months, that's a complete
and not know what it was going to be about.
6 months?
Yeah. 6 months.
Sorry. Wow.
Right.
I didn't have an outline or anything. I had no idea what it was going to be. And what they had me do was write it one guide at a time. So they would only go in order of the guides. So I only wrote part 1 and put it away, wrote part 2 and put it away, then 3 and then 4. And then at the very end, I put it all together and I went, whoa, because I couldn't see where it was going when I was writing each little part.
Yeah, because you put it away and you sort of, your mind leaves that when you're focusing on something else, so you don't realize the connection.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you got me to have that book even more.
Yeah. Oh, it's really great. I am looking forward to the other books that you're going to come out with, because you can definitely tell where this is going.
It's going to be a set.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, on myself.
Yeah, the next book they told me is going to be the Essential 8. So I don't know who they are yet, but that's what they told me the next one will be.
Oh, very cool. So this is, if you're just joining, Julie. Okay, this one here, Canine Spirit Guides, and those 4 little tags in there, these are the core 4, okay? Yeah. Spirit Guides that we're talking about in this book. Amazing. Okay, amazing. Sad, you will cry, you will be mad, you will be, everything.
Every emotion in the book.
And happy. It's thrilling too. I mean, there's a lot of incredibly...
things happen. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to write it and go, wow, that happened to me.
Yeah. It's a definite roller coaster.
Yeah. You get to the end and it's just beautiful at the end. Yeah.
When you're channeling it, do you live it? Do you relive it? The parts that you're writing about yourself, or it's not till afterwards you've done it all. And then you like, excuse me, I wrote that. Like, that's the world to see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think anybody can channel
though? The canine guides?
Can they come through anybody?
Oh, not yet. This is the story on that. So when I was starting out, my mentor was helping me understand what was happening, and he could see that they were there, but they would not speak to him. They would only speak to me because they didn't want their message tainted or twisted or misunderstood. And so I got to a certain point and I started to ask them, why is it that, why me? I mean, I am not somebody who ever asks that. If you read my book, I never say, why me? I just go through it and find the answer. But this time I said, okay, so why me? Because I was trying to understand what I was. Who am I? What am I doing here? I didn't feel like I was a psychic by any means. So what they explained to me and what they showed me, I actually saw myself in a parallel universe. Shoot, what is that movie? The guy, what's the movie that was channeled? The lady channeled on the train. My husband probably knows the answer to this.
Well, if he's watching, which he should be, he better come in and let us know.
He's probably fallen asleep already. It's a magical, mystical series. I can't remember. But anyway, there's a character in that series where he keeps all the animals in the briefcase.
Oh, the magic.
Harry Potter.
Yes, Harry
Potter.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what they showed me. I'm their caregiver, and I've been their caregiver and their guardian and their spokesperson for all of my incarnations in every dimension and every galaxy.
That makes sense.
So they will only speak to me right now.
This is why you have that energetic core that you have.
Yeah. Yes, this is why. And so they were just waiting.
That you put out there, they picked up on it and said, "Here it is."
Yeah, and they've just.
Oh, you froze. So while she's frozen, and but she was talking earlier about the meditation moment that she had, and when she opened her mouth and that beam of light went through. We always say that too. That when we are connecting with, like there are people that are bright and shiny, and it's like. For paranormal investigators, okay, like I have my two of my guides are angelic and they're very bright. So if I walk into a dark room, it's very bright. So I will get a lot of interaction with spirits because they're going to be a beacon. I'm a beacon, so that they're going to come to that light. They're going to want to communicate, and they know that's why you're there. So she will have to rejoin. Fantastic Beasts. Yes. Fantastic Beasts. I love that movie too. But she has gone through so much in this book. It's just beyond. I can't even imagine the next book. I can and I can't. I mean, it's maybe 300 and so pages.
Yeah, well, I just got to tell you though, guys, that when Gina was reading this and she would send me pictures going, oh my God, they got this far. Oh my, I had to put it down. Oh my God, I'm crying. I'm angry. I was like, dude, am I going to want to read this? And then just watching her reactions to what she's reading. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to read this. This. And then to find out just before we came on the air that she's done this as an audiobook. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get the actual book itself so that I can have physical copy in my hand. And I'm going to do the audiobook as well. And I'm going to. So if you see me come live one day and I'm crying like my eyeballs out, y'all know why.
All right. But this is a good time to do this. So this is her banner. Okay, Heather Leigh Strom and the Canine Spirit Guides. Now, a lot of these dogs in the back here, those were her dogs. You can see the combination of like the animals in the back here, the cheetah, the lion, the jag, the eagle. They combine with the animals that are in front of them to create the core four. Okay, so that's how that works. So that spirit behind that animal, and they're combining and they're melding together, and they are amazing. They are just amazing. The artwork is fantastic in here too. All right, she's back. Hello. So so I was just saying about how these animals, and in your banner, how you have all the spirits behind the animals and how they meld together to make that core. So anyway, nice to have.
What did I miss?
We just sort of caught up everything on what we were talking about.
I was showing this, so you can see that there's your dog.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Doing her dance.
Yeah, and then how the spirits are joined together for like right next to you there.
I had an artist create the conjoined images, like with the two animals, and he did a fantastic job. I just told him the animals I needed
For the
put
next time?
together, and he nailed it. Like
It's
they
great.
had to have a
Oh,
certain
yes.
frequency, in order to carry the frequency of the guide.
Yep.
And he nailed it. And he hadn't read the book. He didn't even know what the meaning was behind the image. I mean, he absolutely, that's the movie.
Yeah, fantastic.
Fantastic Beast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you missed.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
We got the name of the book.
Yeah, that when I saw that movie, I was very intrigued.
Yeah.
With all those animals coming out of that bag and everything
Well,
else.
and so, I started to tell you about my experience when I visited that parallel life that I was in.
Yes. Yes.
So, as I was asking that question, why am I the only one? I was visited by myself in a parallel universe, a version of me. Our souls don't just incarnate here. We're in many different places at once. So she came and visited me at night one time when I was asleep. And it was very interesting because I had an escort that took me into this storefront like business. And in the back of the business, it was like a speakeasy. In the back of the business, there was a secret door. And we went through the secret door and then another secret door. And then I was kind of dumped out into this other universe. And so the person that was escorting me then disappeared. And I'm in this other universe and I'm just walking around and I have this envelope in my hand. And I see all these animals everywhere. They were beautiful. And they're not necessarily the animals that we know here. And I'm walking around. I seem to know where I'm going. And finally, I get to this woman. And I recognized her because I had been seeing myself as this person in meditations and in dreams. And it was like a holographic version of me. So when I saw her, I knew she was me. And I walked up to her. I handed her the envelope. She took out whatever was in it because I have no idea what it was. She read it. She folded it back, put it back in the envelope, handed it back to me, and she goes, "I have the answers you seek."
Oh, nice.
Oh, I just got such chills.
I got chills. And then she proceeded to show me around, to show me all the animals and introduce me. And I don't remember the details from that point on. But it was just so fantastic. And when I came out of the dream, of course, I met with my mentor and I said, how do I talk to her again? I have more questions. I need to talk to her again. Yeah. So he told me how to meditate so that I could go and visit her. And I did. I went and visited her and she took me for a ride on a Pegasus. It was really cool. But yeah, she just showed me around and she just kind of guided me and gave me the confidence that I needed to know that this is what I was supposed to be doing. And I've already done it actually. Right. So in that version, so it was just a real confidence booster. Because when I started this journey, I was afraid to be myself. I was afraid to speak and be rejected by other people. And I had to heal that so that I could do my job.
Yep. I know, because being in the paranormal community, it's like people look at you like, you do what? I don't believe in ghosts, but this happened. They all have a story. But
what was your family's reaction to this?
Well, I don't really have a family. Interestingly enough, I mean, my father's passed and he did not believe in any of this. My mother is spiritual, but she isn't really in my life. And my extended family, which I moved to Indiana to get close to, it just never happened. So I actually got further away from them when I got physically closer to them.
Okay.
Energetically, we moved further away. So I was never supposed to be.
You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family.
Well, no, but I did, because I wasn't meant to focus on that. I wasn't meant to have that connection because I needed to be free to do my work. Because if I had been connected with them on a deeper level,
Mhm.
I would not want to make the changes and the moves that I need to make.
Makes
I
sense.
need to be free, which is the same reason I didn't have children. I need to be free to do my work.
Yes.
So, I mean, it is what it is. It's just it's not meant to be for me. And I'm totally okay with that because I have other connections, we'll
Yeah.
say.
So you have mentioned your husband about snoring on the sofa. It'll be like, you said what about? No, dear. When you met him, did he know who you were learning to be, who you were relieving to be yourself?
Neither one of us knew because that was 20 years ago.
That was just last week, wasn't
it? So, no, but interestingly, and so Gina knows this story because it was in the book, but interestingly enough, one of the dogs, actually the same guide, Eric, was with me at the time.
Okay.
I had to completely stop my life and move across country to be closer to where I would meet him. But then that wasn't enough because then I had to get athletic again. I had to ride my mountain bike and then start racing my mountain bike. And all of this happened very quickly in a matter of months.
Okay.
And then I had to race, not just locally, but I had to race regionally to find him because we were supposed to be together. Right. And we are together for a reason, but he does not share my spirituality.
Okay.
So I'm still alone on my path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I might have to mute my mic.
I don't hear anything.
Okay.
Yeah, no, hear nothing.
Okay. He's yelling at someone downstairs.
So long as it's not me, I'm okay.
Didn't do it.
No, it's not. I'm innocent-ish. But no, I think one of the things I enjoy learning about is like every guest, I love learning their story and having how they became who they are or figured out who they are truly deep down. But I also enjoy understanding how their families, whether it's blood family or close-knit, the family that you choose, as I always say in my openings, my family of heart, blood, and soul. Now, my heart family is everybody who I've met on Facebook because there's a connection. I wouldn't accept your friendship if there's no connection. If there's something about you that kind of goes, then delete. So, y'all don't get your friend requests. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, and I'm curious because I know what my soul family, how they reacted to it. I know how my blood family reacted to it. And because I am who I am is how I met my heart family. So I'm always curious as to how families, and if it, like I said, it doesn't have to be blood, reacts to your voyage, your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm closer to,
me,
the family that I pick, opposed to the family I was assigned, because we're on these paths and these wavelengths, and so we're at a different level.
So think about that story in the book about the ancestral pattern and my father. Because, he was not somebody I thought I would have picked for myself.
Right.
It certainly wasn't a pleasant experience.
Anybody, but it's the same storyline, so it's not a particular person. This is what's meant to happen in your life. That was that big moment. I'm like, that's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. You kind of, it's like a thing that but you don't think about it until it's like someone writes it and it's right in front of you.
And I kept wondering, what if my mom had married somebody else? And I kept trying to find a substitute father that I liked.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
And that never worked either.
No, because all of that had to get you to this spot. Okay, let's see. I love this calling all creatures, by the way. Heather, I downloaded your 6 signs and the canine guides are working with you. You guide, and when you talked about the soulmate dog, that really resonated with me. I just lost my soulmate dog last year to cancer. Oh, You know, why is it that it's only like as of late that these dogs get all these things, like there's diabetes and there's cancer and there's this and that?
It was there
know-
before. We just didn't know what it was.
God.
Well, but people are also feeding their dogs people food too. And our dog foods are not very healthy.
Yes.
And they're also absorbing our energy.
Hey, Taryn.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah.
Love you. Love you. Love you. Well, all right, that's a good thing. What is a good food to give the animals?
Yeah.
Well, I feed Honest Kitchen,
Honest
which is dehydrated human grade food that you just add water to. It doesn't have any preservatives in it, no
Oh.
chemicals.
And how do you get it? Do you get it in a bag? Do you get it in a can?
It comes in a bag. It comes in a bag, or it actually comes in a bag inside a box.
Okay.
Okay.
It's very concentrated, so you don't have to feed as much of it because you just add water to it, and that makes it blow up.
Mm.
Cool.
So, and you can mail order it. Some dog food stores will carry it, but you can also mail order it.
I wonder if Chewy will carry it.
I
I
don't
wonder
know.
if it'll come to Canada across the
I
border.
don't know.
Well, I'm going through everything trying to get Biscuit to eat because he's eating the Ready Med stuff, the Ready Cal, high calorie, whatever schmutz I call it. It's just liquid food, just enough to get him his proteins and stuff. And it was all due to the fact he had new medications, and I ruined him on trying to put it in every single thing. And being frantic myself, and I'm never frantic, trying to get him to take medicine. I'm like, you gotta take your medicine. Oh my God, you can't leave me. All this kind of stuff. And I'm like trying, and I even tried to stuff it down his throat. And I've never done that with a dog, and I'm just like, you gotta take this. You can't leave, because he went over, and I thought he was dead, and I'm like, no, I can't. After I lost this one, after I lost Lacey,
Oh yeah.
he said, no more dogs. I can't handle it.
Yeah, she did. I laughed when she said that. I love her dearly, and I know she was hurting. But when she said that, I laughed. I said, yeah, okay. Because I know that her heart is big enough that there will be critters that will come into her life that she won't be able to say no to.
Well, I always said I was going to get a fox. I'm like, I want to get a fox. And then this kid looks like a little fox.
Oh,
And he's so, he's the perfect color for a fox. Little ears, he's a little face. He is. He's like my little fox. And he was 14 when I rescued him. So, he's 15 now. He's got his issues, but God, I could not love this dog anymore.
Mm-hmm.
However, the little
so-and-so
won't eat. So I've been trying everything. So maybe he'll eat that. Like he'll eat. I'll get a thing of Fresh Pet and cut the things, and he'll eat a couple of those things and then stop.
Although I put medication in a hot dog and cheese and whatever.
I have to.
Coco eats carrots, broccolis, whatever. She'll eat anything. She doesn't care. Onyx I put it inside a piece of cheese, and it was a huge piece of cheese, and it's like, normally he just inhales it and it's gone. Oh no, he ate around the pill and spit the pill right back out at me and looked at me like,
well, he's always been on puppy Prozac, right? So he has puppy Prozac and his allergy pills since the day I got him. And then they have him on Pemidin and Theophylline for, one's for his heart and one's for his airwaves to stop the thing that happens. Because the Grinch syndrome that I call it, right? When his heart beats so fast, the airwave is right here where the heart is already impeding onto the airwave. So when it beats faster, it gets up there and it cuts off the airwave altogether. So he's passing out. He's not seizing. I said, he's seizing. And, and they said, well, is he foaming at the mouth? Is he shaking? I said, no, he's like dead. And then, and then they said, no, then he's passing out, so it's a whole different thing. But he can't take the heart medication. He doesn't do well on it. So I just give him the stuff of the breathing. But that's the one, though, because it's a horse pill. It's like this big. And he's a dog.
I've never been big on medication.
Ugh. So I have to get it compounded and squirt it in his mouth now.
Yeah.
he thinks all the food has something in it. But this here, okay, so Calling All Creatures, it says, so I also do a podcast.
You need to put your link in the chat room, and I'll go over and
I had
we'll
Dr.
follow you.
Marty Goldstein on with me a bit ago, and we talked about the foods that we feed our dogs and why they aren't good for them. And that's really good. Yeah, so put your link in here. We'll
Yes,
check
please.
it out. So I forgot I was signed on here under my podcast account, not my personal account. Oh, that's fine.
Okay, that's okay. Share it. We will make everybody follow you.
We'll check you out. You know, we have no fear of competition or anything.
No.
Okay,
I am interested for that honest kitchen stuff that you I just did popped it up in my chat in my Google thing, and I've gotten to the point where I've stopped feeding them, except that I need some crunchy, but I make my own food for them. Mm-hmm. I'll either buy pork or chicken or beef or whatever the case may be, and I will feed them. The only thing I haven't gotten around to doing is chicken feed. It's like I'm not too keen on that one.
For the pets.
But I unfortunately I believe that because they're housebound, they're not outside. It has to be cooked because I have a friend who just raw food, and that's great. But your dog is outside, so if they're going to make a mess, it's outside.
Do you remember when I did that raw food? The poor dog that I'm supposed to be rescuing, and I was talking to someone, and they said, "Oh no, they'll have a whole new pet if you give them raw food, just like the regular food, with just infused with some raw." And the poor dog, I thought he was gonna die. He was like pooping blood, this and that. Obviously he couldn't deal with raw. Mm-hmm. And the vet said, "Who told you to give him raw?" I'm like, "Well, it was the person I was talking to actually at Chewy," because I was talking about meds and everything else. And she seemed so knowledgeable. And then she's like, "I have all these dogs, and we put them on this raw food, and they're doing like." There was one that was so sluggish, and now it's like lost weight, and it's all jumping and spry again, and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, all right, I'll try it." Oh my God, never again.
Your guide, because we're on the topic of food, do the guides talk to you about what your earthbound pets should eat or shouldn't eat, or do they involve themselves in that?
We haven't discussed that. I mean, that hasn't come up. But from my background in functional medicine, the last thing I'll do is use drugs.
Yeah.
And so the most wholesome natural food that they can eat, the better. Yeah. And so fortunately, Gigi loves raw vegetables. She will eat any raw vegetable. Yeah. Anything. If I'm at the chopping block, she is waiting for a bite.
I sit by you. Oh my God. Coco does the same thing. I was cooking them their food. And I was cutting up sweet potatoes and carrots. And then I dropped a carrot on the floor. She grabbed it and ran.
Oh, yeah.
There was little bits throughout the house. And then Onyx was going around cleaning up the little bits. I was like, could you guys okay, fine. Here you go. That's your snack from now on.
And that's great for them to eat. Gigi goes batshit crazy for tomatoes,
God. Yeah.
She thinks it's steak.
Celery.
Yeah, celery even. Yeah. Brussels sprouts. She'll eat raw Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I have a stomach issue, and I know what happens when I eat cabbage and Brussels sprouts. I am not having my dogs who sleep in my bed be eating and farting next to me.
Well, that's a nightshade issue. So that you just need to cook them first. You can't eat them raw.
Okay.
So you don't want to give them potatoes raw either, because they can't digest the potatoes.
There are certain things that I've figured out, like I know potatoes are not good. Carrots are good. I know that they can eat peppers. Like I said, Coco will eat anything. She's like a goat. Just drops on the floor, she'll eat it. I don't have to buy a paper shredder. If I want some paper shredded up, old bills, if I happen to drop it on the floor, she'll be like, ah! It's like, oh gosh, please.
Oh, I have my mind is
being stared at again.
Making a picture of paper shredder and a dog combination. Oh my God.
Half goat, half dog. There is a goat coming through as one of the next guides. I do remember that. Oh, and there was this beautiful animal. It in the next book, it's It's not an animal that we have here. It kind of looks like a bobcat, only it's taller, and there's spots. So you know how a hyena has the stripes?
Mm-hmm.
So this one has the black spots all over it.
Ooh.
So I don't know what it's called yet. I haven't received all the information. It came to me in a dream one night, and I was like, "Wow, is that a new guide?" They're like, "Yeah, that'll be in the next book." I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait!" I haven't had time to channel any of that stuff in because I've been promoting this book.
Yeah, exactly.
It won't take you long.
Oh no, it won't take long at all. But, so I'm not
If
worried.
that
about
one
it.
took you 6 months.
Yeah.
Just
It
sit
won't
down.
take long.
But you know,
But they're sneaky. They're giving me sneak peeks, here and there, and I'm like, oh, that's
getting you
really
excited.
cool.
Getting you excited. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the sneak peeks, like so far I've seen cats. I've seen cats of different breeds, and I've seen, of course, the dogs. And you've got the eagle, and you said that there's a goat coming. I'm sort of partial to butterflies. I know that's not an option, but
Well,
if the guides kind of say, "Hey, we got a butterfly for Mama to eat," just let me know.
We've got what 40 more guides to go, so it's
Who
definitely
knows?
possible. And think about how magical a butterfly is. All that transformation. I mean, that's huge.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And the fox, my guide is I did my meditation and I went into my little cave and I was supposed to stay in there, wait for my spirit guide, but I saw a little
She didn't pay attention.
and because I'm like you, I'm like looking, I'm like, wait a minute, what's that? And I start picking at the wall and the wall crumbles and then there's a field and then there were foxes in the field and then up on the top of the field there was this big altar and this thing. Actually, I have a picture of it and I found out what that is in another thing that we did with Raven. But this was standing up there.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So he's at the altar and he's got long robes on, the long hair, that lion face, like a man lion, right? Type thing. But he's got this big book open on this altar and he just turns and he looks at me and the foxes are just like in front of me, like actually kind of keeping me from actually going over there, which is what a fox does. I didn't know this at the time, but the fox is like that keeper of the space between the realms, between our realm and the spiritual realm, so that's kind of like what the fox is here. It is it's that barrier between here and there, and we're trying to, bring it. But it was amazing that when that thing turned around and looked at me, I knew this was something so much more than I would ever be in my entire life or lifetimes. Okay. Like this was like a magical, mystical, high being and just knew everything. I just knew it knew everything, and then let me be like, I knew I'm not a threat, so he turned back to his book and I kind of snuck back into my cave like,
it's like that, like, if I get seen, Santa Claus won't leave me.
Was he a Lyra avian?
It was what?
Or was he a Lyra feline?
Like a
From Lyra?
Kinda.
Yeah.
But it was pretty intense. It's something that I can see it just like I saw it that vivid at the beginning. Like every time I recall it, I can see it so vividly.
Yeah. Is he one of your guides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's pretty intense, but it's only when we did the thing with Raven and I got to go there, and this was like what that book is the Akashic Records. So it's like what that was doing. It was like when I looked at it, it had purple letters on it, like glowing purple letters, and I couldn't read it, because I don't know what language it was. I couldn't read it. But then if I got closer, it was like this wall was building up, and it was this golden wall, and it was behind the altar, and then the letters were turning like gold and flying off the pages and kind of disappearing. It was just kind of like
so which Akashic Records was he reading?
He was reading them.
Which one? The terrestrial or the galactic?
I don't know.
She didn't get that close. She was
probably the galactic.
Maybe because it was all going up. I don't know. That was the first time that I had gotten that far, and someone else took me there. And again, I feel like I shouldn't be there. Like I want to walk through like that wall, that gold wall. It was like a shimmery, kind of like the over your book here, like that right there, gold like that, a shimmery sheer wall that I felt like I could walk through. And if I walk through it, then I think that's where my answers are.
Yeah.
You know? So I want Raven to take me back there. And to walk through that wall and take
You can
that.
do it in meditation.
I know. But Raven needs the, that's what she does, and that's how, and she gets you there, and she wants to practice on doing it too. So I will wait, and when it's the right time, I'm sure it will be the right time. But again, it's when you're ready to receive these things is when things happen, and I tend to be a little pushy. So I am, erring to caution here and taking my time with it. But I know I'm going through that wall. I'm gonna. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it, and I'm gonna talk to this being. But it's very intimidating. It's very like I feel like I'm so this. Why me? That I get to even see you. And what gives me the right to talk to you, and you know what I mean. And that's how I feel at that point. So it's like I can walk in there like, oh yeah, I got all these intentions, and then you get there and you go.
Like starstruck.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I did. Like I just like I know it's not the right time.
Yeah. I can relate.
I will go forward. But
Looking forward to that one.
It's
sometimes
themselves.
Go ahead. You were saying, Heather?
Oh, well, sometimes my guides come and they, because they think they're going to scare me, they will appear as someone that I know on this earth plane.
Mm-hmm.
So one time, and I have to say that none of my guides are right now are ascended masters or family members, or they're all from the intergalactic dimension.
Cool.
And not all of them are races that we're familiar with. So some of them look very strange. Mm-hmm. So because they don't want to scare me, they will take the form of someone I know. Like this example I'm thinking of, they took the form of my mentor and his secretary. And for some odd reason, we met in my bedroom that I had when I was a child. But I knew whoever was meeting with me was not who he appeared to be, because I almost bolted. And he's like, calm down. Yep. What?
Okay.
What? What'd you say?
Gina, what did you say?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
This was recent. This wasn't like a long time ago. This was while I was writing the book.
Okay.
So he took the form of someone that I knew and trusted intimately, and in order to not scare me, because his actual being was a bit off-putting. So that was interesting. And then I had these last guides before I had the ones I have now. I had this race that was a fish.
Ooh.
And they were very interesting. I had them come and see me one night, and this whole pod of fish swam by me over my head, like they were swimming in the air, like above me. And I was so excited to see them, because this particular race has been really quiet, and they didn't want me to see them for a long time. And this was my first opportunity to actually put eyes on them. So I was really excited to see them. And as they were swimming by, I was like, oh, please wait. And so one of them stopped. And you know how fish will go nose down in the water and just hover there? And also spaceships will do that too. Like just hover there, the ET vessels will do that. So that's what he did. He bent down, and just above my nose, his nose was above my nose, and he was just hovering there. And I reached up with my arms like this, and I just looked up at him, and I just engulfed him energetically. And in the dream, I could tell that we were sharing frequency.
Yeah.
And when I woke up the next day, I did a meditation about the dream. And I said, please tell me what this was about. And then I realized he was downloading his light language into me at that moment.
Wow.
And that was amazing when I finally put that together. And then I had a light language to unpack. So that was really cool.
That is neat.
Yeah, that sounds like
You truly are blessed. You know,
I'm very fortunate and so gracious for this opportunity. You know, I've waited my whole life for this. So, and I don't question anything. I just go with it. I say, thank you.
Yes, exactly. I mean, more people have to realize that, you know, because there are different, there's so many guides and so many, you know, places and beings and levels and, you know, realms and whatever you want to call it, that are trying to communicate. And people shut it down.
Don't fight it, accept it, be open to it.
Yeah, we've had quite a few channelers on, you know, and channeling the books and whatnot, and coming up with some pretty amazing stuff about, you know, how are we going to help our planet and things like that, you know.
Everything's just exploding. I mean, we're getting so much help right now, you know. Everybody's waking up. It's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the more people tap into that energy, the stronger it gets, you know. This format helps that whole thing a lot, you know, being able to reach out. Because where are you now?
I'm in Indiana right now.
You're in Indiana. All right, I'm in Pennsylvania. She's in Canada. All right, and here we are. You know.
Okay, I didn't know where you were. Sorry, I had to do that. I didn't know where you were in this on this planet, but the song, I'm not even sure the name of it. Indiana. That's been zinging through my head all day long.
Really?
And I had no idea why. Sometimes songs stick in my head, but I was like, okay, right. And you just said it, and it was like that was a smack upside the back of my head. I was like, okay, I needed that. Right. I at some point I'm going to have a conversation with you about your meditation course. I'm interested in doing that because I have lost that. I've lost that spark for meditation, and as much as I try, it's like it's just not happening. So I need to figure out where I need to focus that.
Right.
Part
well, you know what? We do that. We do, like, you know, we always say it too, you know, people, you want to do meditations, you know, go look for guided meditations so you can get yourself comfortable, you know, and try different ones. There's millions of them out there, but we'll do it to death. You know what I mean? So, and then it's like, we're immune to it. You know what I mean? It's just not working anymore. You need the next level. You need the next.
Well, meditation is just like this
stepping stone.
Stepping stone. Like meditation in and of itself is not the goal, right? You use meditation
it's like the boat.
to learn to project your consciousness.
Right.
And so it's just the beginning.
But it's the thing where you got to turn this brain off.
Yeah, that's my issue. The only time I can turn my brain off, and again, my husband doesn't listen to my show, thank God, is when I'm doing dishes. When water is running on my hands and I'm just focusing on that, then there's so much that can go on in this brain that is like, ooh, I should stop and write this down. And no, just forget it. Now just go back to washing dishes. Like, there's so much that goes in.
Just set up the recorder and just record yourself. That's what I do when I meditate. I set up the recorder and I just talk.
Cool.
Okay.
I describe what's happening, what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing. I just describe it. That's how so many of those chapters came in.
Okay.
See that?
See that? Okay, thank you.
Now you sparked it. Now she's got the spark again. I can see it in her face.
And the meditations in my what?
She doesn't like to write. She doesn't like the journal.
Oh, then dictate it.
Yeah, I will.
All of the meditations in my course, it's a short course, so it doesn't take a lot of time. It gets right into it, and all of the exercises are channeled. So they contain frequency to help elevate you to that level.
Okay.
And there's a couple of gifts from the canine guides in there too.
all beautiful.
Nice.
All right, well, I'm going to go through this again. Okay, so we have the sites. We have Canine Spirit Guides, and that again is a capital K and a number 9, spiritguides.com. And Heather Leigh Strom, Leigh, okay, is Leigh, Strom, Strom.com. All right, those are her 2 sites. You can see her on YouTube at Heather_Leigh_Strom. And she has coaching, heatherleigstrom.com/healing-immersion. And heatherleigstrom.com/events. See what's going on in her life. There is the mini course. Okay, so it's heatherleigstrom.com/meditation-mini-course. Okay, and then the group workshops. Now, this is what I'd be interested in too. Is heatherleigstrom.com/group-workshop. And one more. Oh no, again.
You did that already.
A mini course. Right, we really want that mini course out there.
Yeah.
And again, here is her wonderful picture,
faces.
like the combinations of those animals.
I love the hound.
4, and then her lovely precious babies behind her. This is her book. Okay, this is the Canine Spirit Guides book that you should go and get right now on Amazon or wherever you get your books, and it is in audio as well. So yeah. I can't recommend it enough, because now you have to do this one because you have to prime yourself to get ready for what's coming next. Because it's gut wrenching, people. I'm telling you, if you don't cry, there's something wrong with you. Because if you don't get angry, there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? It's like you're going to go through the gamut of emotions. But I'm going to get off the emotions right now because I just saw a little thing. This is my shiny ball. Again, with the when you were doing the training, I didn't know that they had reverse walking, reverse healing.
Oh, yeah, reverse healing. Yeah, backward healing. Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, so the dog goes to the opposite side of you that it normally heals on. So if my dog heals on the left, she flips around to the right side of me. So she's facing backwards and I'm facing forward. I keep walking forward and she has to walk backward to heal with me as she walks backward. It's an exercise that they're required to do in French ring as one of the protection exercises, because there's a bad guy walking behind me. So she has to keep an eye on the bad guy.
Okay, because that's it. I'm like, why? What is the point of that?
Yeah. So if the guy comes and tries to take my purse or something, then she bites the bad guy. But until he does something wrong, she has to stay in that position.
Oh, there you go. Heather, your book sounds intriguing and I plan to buy it. I'm also hoping to have you on my podcast. I reached out to Trisha at Conscious Media Relations a week ago to try to set it up. And fabulous. Yes. Yes, we want to get her word out there as much as possible.
I haven't heard from Trisha, so you might want to reach out to me directly.
Yeah. She's everywhere. We just gave you all her
source.
Okay. So yeah, just reach right out to her, set it up.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know your name, but thank you, Calling All Creatures.
I know, Calling All Creatures. I mean, what a perfect name for
you.
That's a perfect name for the perfect dog. I mean, you're in the fox den. You know what I mean? So it's like we're all about the animals, and we know the power behind the animals. We know the power behind the butterfly. She sends all her magic out through all the butterflies. And that is so true too.
Yeah. The butterfly is so magical. I love the butterfly. I have the butterfly in my logo too.
Yeah.
They are the first thing that I connected to when I sent out my Reiki healing. It just sort of like, I knew what my master did. I knew what other people did. And I was like, why do I keep seeing butterflies? So it was just an automatic thing that happened, and it worked. And I was like, perfect. So they're always with me in everything I do.
Transformation.
Yep.
Rebirth.
Okay. So
it's 5 after.
How do you want to sum this up as to why would people need to get this book right now?
Oh, if you're curious about what your journey might look like. If you haven't awakened yet, it's a great example of how your story might unfold, because it's about spiritual awakening too. It's not just about the dogs. It's not just an autobiography. It's the process of the whole spiritual awakening. And also it's a demonstration of how quick and easy lifetimes, decades of healing can be if we just allow it. I mean, that's the biggest message they usually have me share.
That's really good. There's so many more.
Yeah, this book is so deep.
It
has so many layers. It's like an onion. That's why it'll appeal to so many different types of people, right? Not just dog people, not just spiritual people. I mean,
read it.
Yeah. And you don't want to read it once. You want to actually, because the next time you read it, you're going to get something completely different.
Catch something else. Yeah.
100%.
I can't tell you how many times I've read it or how many times I've listened to it, and I go, whoa, every time I read it.
Did I actually? Yes, I did. Yep.
It did. It sparked a thing in me that I didn't even know.
It blows me away that I lived that life. I mean, holy cow.
Yep. And this is why, because you're here for this right now. And this is exactly, we all have
to share the story. Yeah.
Yep. And we have to walk our paths all for a reason. God, I could talk to you for another 4 hours. Easy.
I know, right?
So we're gonna have you come back. I mean, but when you get your oracle cards, we want them when your next book comes out, and like within the next year.
Whoa, no pressure.
Okay. None at all. We'll have you back on for that. And but you are part of the Fox Den family now. You ever need us, you let us know. We'll do anything.
Yeah, if there's anything we can share and help put out there, just let us know. Send a message to Gina, to me. Yep. I'm trolling you on TikTok and on Facebook now, so we're good.
Awesome.
And if anyone else
check out my podcast, because
I plan on it.
On my podcast, I channel the canine spirit guides, their messages, and then we do a healing session after that on the podcast. So I bring in their frequency.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I love it. Well, Heather, this has been amazing. Hang with us for a minute. And for all of you guys, I'm going to have to say goodnight. And we will see you all next week. Reading show. And we will see you for that. Yes.
Night, guys. Y'all behave yourself.
Love y'all. Love y'all.
Be good.
We thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D. We are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as our Anchor audio venues. We hope you enjoyed our show and our guest, and we would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, subscribe, and definitely hit that notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.